Hi all. Okay. Hey, hi. My name is Sharath. I'm working as a ML engineer at Think Hat Software. So it's been like almost like overall experience is I have is around 5 years. So into ML, I have close to 3 years now. So from last 1.5 year, I'm working on Gen AI domain where we are developing a products using generative AI rather than traditional machine learning algorithms. So hope everyone are aware of what is Gen AI, generative AI. So how many of you use ChatGPT here? Okay, what is ChatGPT? Generative. So come on. So anyone knows what is the full form of GPT?
Hello, sir.
How we are getting answers from ChatGPT whenever we are asking
Sir, we can't see you.
text, normal random questions, Python,
Sir,
whatever.
we can't see you. Can you
We are getting
please?
answers from yeah. Most of the time it is accurate. Like how it is giving out the answers. What do you think is happening behind?
Sir, can you set the camera properly?
Sorry? NLP. NLP is the base. Someone said something like it.
Sir, can you set the camera properly? We can't see you.
So GPT is nothing but a generative pre- So generative pre-trained transformers. So transformers are nothing but a complicated neural networking layer where it learns like tons of trillions of tokens, which is data. So with its training, we are getting the output. So here the name itself says it's a generative pre-trained transformer. So it's a pre-trained model where we are asking it the questions and it is giving based on the corpora of data what it have learned. So my area of work currently is similar to this. So this is brief about me. And so, what is data analysis according to you? Like I think you have been doing all this data analysis from a long time, I guess. Any generic answer, like no, like there is no predefined answer. This is only correct. That there is nothing like that. You can say. Okay, creating insights of what?
Data to reach the past data.
No, we are already having the past data. We are not reached. We are provided with it. Okay, so where are we using this problem statement, like the insights? Okay, let's forget everything. Let's say I'm going to start ice cream business. So yeah, so what are the inputs I should take in order to start a ice cream business? So what are the things you get in your mind? You can say nothing. So location. So one is one of the key point. Next,
The because location the computer we have to find computer.
investment. You are saying. So that is depending on my budget. I can pick it a big scale or small scale. Yeah, that is one more key. Next, season. Yeah. So here one of the key role is the season. When you are launching a big ice cream business with a lot of flavors in winter or rainy season, we'll be end up getting losses. So season is one of the key parameter to run a business. One is the location. If we are putting an ice cream stop in front of hospital, it won't work. And anymore, price, discount offers. So how we are attracting
Sure.
people. So yeah, flavors, and see the pulse, like what are the people really liking, which flavor they are intended to buy more and all. So these are the main points what you have just told me to make my business success. So here you are creating a insights so that it will impact the business, just not creating insights for like no reasons. So the insights will help us driving the business. So if your insights are correct, my ice cream business would be a hit, or else I would end up in losses. So if you are giving me proper insights, then it would be a hit. So in general, this is the thing why we do this. So this is a small example. So coming to a real life scenarios or whatever it is, like you take banking sector or e-commerce or anything. So okay, coming to e-commerce, let's say you are running a very big e-commerce website. So you need to know for what kind of products people are getting attracted, people are trying to buy, or else even they are moving it to cart or wish listing and looking over it, how many times they are visiting it, so that you can have a idea to reduce the price or to increase the price. Are they really interested, or they are just seeing for seeing sake or not? So the like for every problem statement or for every scenario, we'll be having different features which are what do you say, depending, like which are giving their contribution towards the target or the towards the end goal what we are trying to see. So here I'm going to explain this customer shopping trends actually. So before that, anyone having any doubts, or if you want to any ask anything, you can ask me, or else. And like I was said, this should be an interactive session, so I'm expecting some answers. So and don't think you are right or wrong. So it's just an insight. I might miss something. You might tell me something which can be a useful insight. Any doubts, or should I start?
Sir,
So basically, this is the
sir, could you hear me?
okay, customer trends data sets where we are having different columns. You can see age, gender, item purchase, category. So the item what I have purchased and in which category the item falls, and the purchase amount,
Sir,
location,
sir,
color,
sir,
season, review and rating, subscription type, shipping type, discount, promo code if they have applied any promo code or not, previous purchases. So how many purchases they have done previously.
sir,
The,
you're not
when
sharing the screen.
the other is the frequency of purchases. So here the problem statement I wanted to know is so if the person, if I'm going to expand my hypermarket or supermarket, so what are the things I should focus on? So I can't blindly expand everything. I don't know if they are best selling or not. Instead of
Sir, you're not sharing the screen, sir. Do you hear me?
instead of blindly expanding with all the items and all, I can focus on so I have a previous data where I know which kind of customer came, purchase what kind of item over the few months or few years. So with this I can pinpoint to a particular product or a particular category where I can focus and I can increase those products simply instead of expanding everything. So okay, this is the data set what you are having. So you can think what you can do before we going in. So if you have any like after seeing the data, what you are thinking, what ideas you got. So this is a problem statement. So you want to like the key solution is to give me something where I should focus and where which I can increase my business rather than increasing everything. Yeah, most selling products. And yes, next.
Sir, could you please hear us, sir?
Sorry.
Could you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine, thank you. Like finding out the who are the most customers, like male or female, and the location.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
What are the ratings for
Okay. Okay. There might be ratings, but it is not guaranteed that they will buy. Yeah. So these are the few things where you can target on. So if you start digging into it, you can compare the targeted category with different categories and see how they are like the how the sales are, how the distribution are, how many quantity they are going to they were sold, so that we can have an idea of what we can target.
age wise also?
Yeah, we can do all this. So yeah, this is the I'm going to give a basic idea. I'm not going to give all the answers. So you should try to implement and experiment how many ever you want. So these are normal package libraries what I'm going to import. So this is the data set what we are talking so far. So let's see what data how is a data set. So we are not having any nulls here actually. And data set types we can see using df.info. So these are the columns as I mentioned: customer ID, age, gender, item purchased, category, amount, location, size, color, season, rating, subscription status, shipping type, discount, promo code, previous purchases, payment method, and frequency of. Yeah. So let's see how the data is, and yeah, here I'm just using you have to describe to see. So can someone explain me what it is saying? Of
It is
so
giving
what I'm
descriptive
getting.
statistics of statistical view of the data. Like any
Yeah, can you please expand, like elaborate?
by using descriptive, we can get to know like count of the customer, like column, how many uniques, like how many are there, and we can get to know mean, standard deviation, and max and minimum values.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything more? So it just gives us how the data is spread across. Let's see. So this is the maximum. Coming to age, so minimum age starts at 18 and maximum is 70. Okay, and like, do you know what is outlier?
Stream values. Those
Okay.
values does not.
Extreme values, which is not belongs to the group. Like
Uh, what is an anomaly?
Duplicates or outliers.
Difference between what is it? Anomaly and outlier.
Outlier is
So
an
we always remove outliers and we say anomalies.
needed to remove or not. Mostly we need to
How will you input outlier?
outliers and outliers we can like if it is needed we can
Can you give an example? Like what is the needed? Like what is the cutoff to remove an data point? So if you are removing a data point, you are overall changing the performance of data. Let's say, for example, you are having a column where it is showing a sales. So the least value in the sales would be 3 rupees, and the highest value would be maybe 20,000. So the average changes. So if you are thinking the 3 and the 20,000 are outliers, and if you are removing, the average changes. So when you are imputing it after removing these things, you will be getting a different thing. All over you are tampering the data, you are changing the data set altogether. So outliers or anomalies is, it's not always that we can remove blindly. So it depends on the, how to say, domain knowledge also. Let's say we are conducting a survey. So there are 100 people where I'm going to ask them their details. Okay, we are having a column gender. So few, like I have a data, female, male, and few people don't know, they don't want to disclose. And you don't know are the male or female. So with what you are going to impute it? So So it's a categorical value. So you will use generally mode. So okay, as you said, you can use mode. Let's say the data records what I am having are 100 records. So in 100 records, I'm having 30 male, 50 female, and 30 male, 40 female, and the rest are in, I don't know. So now what you are going to impute the rest thing, the rest 30, which means 30% of the data total what we are having. And putting this aside, in 70% also we can see 30% we are having male, and for 30 records we are having male, and 40 records we are having female. So what are you going to do in this case?
You can judge the name. If it is okay,
You don't know the name, I'm not giving you the column. So it's a personal data. So in general, when you are getting data sets, you won't be getting metadata or the personal data like this. So you won't be getting few of the confidential things in general, what I have seen from my experience. What would be the approach here? Anyone?
Interpolates.
Can you explain like what you are trying to say, like with what you will input it?
Interpolate, like forward filling or backward filling the data.
Okay, what if you are using that and filling, but you are guessing it in a wrong way? Maybe there are males, but you are taking is a female, and the survey is related to something maybe health
Yes.
related.
Okay.
So if it is an health care data set, if you are like changing the gender altogether, there are a lot of things which are going to change.
Yes, sir, it depends. It depends on the data and domain, sir. Like
Okay,
if it's
so
if it's
in general,
shopping of if it's shopping of girls materials, then definitely the gender matters, sir. And if it's shopping of groceries, it doesn't vary in much.
yeah, that's correct. Like if it is, yeah, based on the domain you can choose, that is correct. And here in general, the good practice would be make it as that category that we like, it is not provided. So we are having three categories now. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So that would be a better approach here instead of filling. Let's say if there are two or three columns which are not mentioned, maybe you can take a call. But here 30 records are not mentioned, and you can't use gender like male or female to impute this. This is not a advisable case here. So you can like create a new column out of it, and you can have NA or something. You can flag it later. So that would be the approach. Yeah.
Based on other columns, like if it is a healthcare data, as you mentioned, so based on the like height and weight and some of the diseases, like that kind of we can analyze and we can fill the.
Yeah, so based on the domain sensitivity, also we need to take a call. It's not always advised to do the approach what I am saying, and again, it is not an optimal way to impute based on the other features what they are getting. So it's again, it's always based on the domain and the sensitivity of the dataset. Yeah. Okay, so here we can see the range between what the age.
So can you explain the what you said now? Can you explain it again? The approach I didn't understand properly.
Which one you are asking?
The approach you are taking of
Or the nulling the filling the
how
values
the
of
filling
in
the
this case
values
of a
of
male.
30% of data.
So
You
here
said that 30.
I'm using some other category. Let's say female, male, and I'm introducing a new what is a category NA. So they are not giving anything. So instead of like imputing this, this would be an approach. I'm not saying this is correct all the time. This can be an approach if we are having a sensitive data where we can't impute or we can't imagine the gender.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes. So actually, like if you get null values in the series like 1 to 10, like in the middle of the like let's say 21 to 30, we got completely null values. So how can we approach like what the approach in that case?
where you are
It
asking like what data set or
in, in the data set. In the data set, for example, if you take rows or 21 to 30 rows, continuously like see series wise, next to next we got null values. So how can we approach like what the kind of approach we do?
what that column is saying and how relevant is it to your data. So once you are going to impute or see any null values, let's just see what it is trying to say. uh, there can be many reasons why it is zero. Maybe there is an option or there is an possibility that it can be zero, or else maybe people have given any what is say other things. Let's say I'm having a website where I'm collecting the data from the people who are coming and filling into it using APIs. So in that let's say I forgot to like give the what is it integer or string thing. So instead of giving their name, if people are typing numbers or vice versa, so the API can't read and it will fetch it in either null or blank or zeros. So if that is the case, we can't do anything instead, like unless we can. If it is an important thing in our analysis or modeling part, we need to take a call, or we need to separate it, or we need to see how it affects. If it is not an important field, or if it's just a metadata, we can drop it. So it
And then
depends on the use case.
and also yeah, customer ID is unique, right? In our data set, like what
Yes.
if get customer ID itself is a null value is a NA in our data set?
Yeah, customer ID is just a unique identification of a record, right? You are not going to analyze it with anything. Even if you search or even if you average, or you can't even average, or you can't even see anything. It's just like a serial number. So
One
even if the other columns are empty, you will be getting a customer ID.
the other columns are as a values, but the customer ID itself we don't have any value. So we're going to
So
drop that
if the
value.
customer ID is not having a value, you won't be getting a record. So
Okay.
here the key, what is it? The key feature, the key variable what we are trying to fetch the records would be customer ID. Not only this, in whatever the data set you are having, so there will be a key thing to fetch the records. So it's just like a serial number. If you are missing out the serial number, then we can't even fetch the record. Yeah, exactly, index number. So we can't see the number. If there is no possibility of getting all details instead of like without customer ID, there will be some customer ID. Maybe other columns might be missing. This there can be a case where we will be having a customer ID and rest all the columns will be null, because without filling the data, they might have submitted the form. So that can be the case.
So how can we going to deal these outliers in the complete numeric value data set? If let's say stock market we are analyzing, so in that case, how can going like how we going to handle these
So
outliers and
here, if you're talking about outliers and anomalies, let's take age for example. So
Sir,
here,
what is anomalies?
Yeah, I'm going to
Outlets we
explain.
know.
Yeah, I started explaining.
Yeah, let me complete my question. Like we are going to analyze the stock market data. We can get complete numerical values over there. So like how can we going to handle the null values and outliers in that case? Like whenever we are analyzing that kind of data. So what the approaches we will?
So, if you are talking about stock market, you are saying the like outlets, right? So
Yeah, outlier.
there can be possibility that price of a stock can go to negative, or price of a stock can go all of a sudden to the biggest price it ever had. So in that point of view, I don't think we would consider some point to be an anomaly until unless it's like some random value. Let's say if the stock price is 100 rupees, uh, due to some error or due to human errors or whatever it is, if it is displaying minus 50,000 or minus 70,000, it would be an anomaly, which is not possible. But if the value of the stock is zero from 100, which is possible, this is an outlier. But in the stock market, we can't treat it as an outlier because there is always a possibility for stock to hit zero or shoot up.
Okay, so we are not going to remove the outliers in
No,
such cases.
in stock market, we are not going to. If that is any,
Like
let's say you are having a uh, data where age plays an important role. Let's say, okay, you are talking about an insurance policy, so their age plays an important role. Let's say you are having a least age of 3 and highest age of 250. Are you going to consider these two values now? You know this insurance policies, right? They can't give insurance to people who are like 3 years and people, and there is no possibility of having 250 of age. So in this case, you can't blindly take in account these two values. You can just drop it. So here the domain played an important role to choose what you have to do.
what about the null values in the stock market? Like every data is imported in the stock market analysis, right? Like whatever the
So
each point,
what null values you are talking exactly? Can you please specify?
maybe some due to some human errors or
Yeah,
whenever importing data, exporting data,
so
we miss
if the
some.
data set is sensitive, we are not supposed to impute it with any means of what is imputation techniques. We can directly ignore the record.
Okay.
Let's say if we
Yeah.
are
Thank
talking
you.
about average marks of a school students. Okay, so there are two records missing in so and so subject. So you want to know what is an average, just for a random sec, just an average you want to know. So at that point, you can impute it with the average. But
Okay.
if you are talking about patient vitals and if you are having a null values, you can't impute it, right?
So in such cases, like what the approach we are taking,
Here we are not considering the record.
we are
How
going
can
to
you
client the
consider the record?
we are not consulting. If needed, well, like we can go to the client again. We can.
Sorry, I can't
Okay.
hear you.
So if client said that is a data is a mandatory, so in that case we are going back to client and again ask for the more details, right?
Even if it is mandatory, if you are not providing with the values, you can't do. As I just mentioned, if you are dealing with the patient vitals, what would you do? So there are two missing values of a patient vitals. Can you impute with average or any means of methodology?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no.
what. Simple. So it depends on the sensitivity, depends on the domain. We need to take a call. So that's what, like, it's not predefined that this is the right approach, this is the wrong approach always.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Thank you.
generally the imputing values decide on uh, decide with the domain, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The imputing values based on decides based on the domain you are saying.
Not always. That's what I'm going to mention. Okay, you please
Sensitivity
continue
of
your
the
question.
I just asking that you are saying that based on the domain we will input the values.
Yes,
If it
yes.
is not, that's
It's
what
not sensitive or it's not important thing. We can take a call.
remove the We can remove it if it is not
Yeah, if we
sensitive.
can't do any action, if we can't take any action, we can remove it.
Okay. Can you explain the anomaly? We don't know. Actually, we are fresher to this domain,
Yeah,
so
that's what I just mentioned, right? In age, let's say, so let's take this example. So age here is minimum is 18 and maximum is 70, which is possible. What if age is 2 and maximum age is 108?
out of range,
Yeah, both are not like what are these are not in
not
the limit
needed.
where we can say that these people, these age group people can come for shopping. So these we can consider as anomalies which are tampering the data. So here the maximum age is 70 and the 75th percentile is 57. Still it is considerable because the 70 age group person can come for shopping either for groceries or whatever it is. So there is an always a possibility. Even if it is an outlier, when you see it, it looks like an outlier because it is very far, but it's a genuine value. It's not the thing we can ignore.
You mean that outliers is which we can't take? It is out of the
So
data.
outliers are not always things what we have to remove. Again, it is based on the data set what you are going to work on.
Okay, as you said, for the people who are coming for the shopping,
Okay.
for them, outliers would be like 70 above 75. It may be the outlier, right?
Why
Because of
can
they,
it be an outlier? People at 75
we can
can go.
calculate. We can calculate based upon the uh, box box chart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if there are records which are showing age group of 78 or something, don't you think people at that age will go for shopping?
Yeah, we
Is
can
there a
calculate
possibility or
now.
not? No,
We
so
can
see,
we can calculate with the boundaries, upper boundary and lower boundary. But
okay,
based
always
upon that,
don't go
if I
blindly
get
with those boundaries, is what I'm trying to say.
okay,
So if we go through like if we're going to identify the boundaries based on the box plot itself, so we're going to like we need to analyze the data if it's required or it is like appropriate or not. Then we're going to remove, right?
Okay, according to you, you are saying
Like
you are
let me
using
complete my
box plot.
question
Okay,
first.
okay, you
Yeah.
are using box plot, and you found out that age is 78, and you wanted to drop. Okay, now I'm asking you, like, does age group 78 people can't go for shopping? First point, and second, like, is this really an anomaly? Is there like it is out of 100 or like it is not above
sir.
100, right?
Anomaly is
Sorry,
different from
outlier.
outliers.
So if are
Okay,
you like if you are trying to say it as an outlier, can you please explain why it is an outlier?
based on the formula that we take, we
E-
got the outliers.
And also based on the like box plot which we can plotting.
Box plot, we calculated it, and
Yeah,
we
that's what
got
I'm
this
trying to
outcome.
say. So with the box plot, you got that age group of 78 is out of your limit, and you are considering
Yes,
it to be an outlier. So in general,
maybe
would you think it's a real outlier? It should be omitted from dataset.
because
As
if
for
if
the
we
like
78%, 78 percent of age, who cannot come to regularly, like those people cannot come,
But
no,
still, they
one
are
or by
potential
one
customers,
or
right?
person.
But
but
still they are potential customers, right? Okay, let's say 78 age group people are spending around 300 USD in my shop. Now what will you say?
It will not consider the majority, I mean, more number, right? It will be like one or two members who may come to shopping, so we can calculate them as calculate them as
That's what I'm saying.
one
So
or two, we
what
can
if
say.
the age group persons shopping price, the amount what they spend is more than some other groups combined?
But we cannot say it's a complete outlier.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't see that this is the standard formula I want to eliminate. No, you just need to analyze why it is an outlier. If you can justify it, Yeah, it's an outlier. It is no way related to any other column, or it is not affecting the data set. If it is not affecting
Sir,
the use case what I'm trying to deliver, you can remove it.
even though after calculation of the outliers, if we get 78 like that, but in the actual scenario, it doesn't mean for the outliers. What we will take on it? What is the approach we will take on it?
You can use it in the data set. Why is the need of removing it?
Okay, but our calculation we got outliers, right? In that calculation,
So
we
that's what I'm trying to say. Don't blindly go with the calculations always.
okay,
You're just pointing always towards the formula. Yeah, formula can give it as an outlier, but in reality what it is making, what how much value it is adding to our data set and our business use case. So
okay. After 78,
if you are trying to remove those records in real life scenario, and if you are removing those, and you are removing the columns, and if you are considering it as outlier, let's say the purchase amount for those two records which are having 78 age are maybe 500 USD. So you are removing 1000 US dollars business, right?
okay. Then
So
we how can we find that more than 78 people may not come to those people can be an outlier, right? More than 78, it may be.
no, depends on data set. So in this data set, what you are seeing on my screen, the maximum value is 70. It's not always defined for this. So if the data set is different, if the domain is different, that might be a different value. Maybe it might be a 30, it might be 20 only, it might be 90. If you are talking about hospital, people with 90 or 90
Yeah,
to
yeah.
95, they can come to hospital, right?
They can come to yeah, yeah.
So there the max value can be 95, right?
Yes.
So how can you say the age group above this are outliers and below this? No. So to understand the data, to see what are the limits in the data, we are just defining this. That's what I am trying to explain here. So what this says is in our data set, what we are having, the minimum value starts at 18 and maximum value ends at 70. So if you are taking some other domain data set, it might vary.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just plotting few graphs to see. I think I need to run all. I don't think the data set is here in this location. So this is the one of the graph what I tried to plot and show, but it's not come here. So I'm just trying to see the amount purchased by different age, different genders, like who are contributing more. So here it would show the amount where we can see the male are higher than female. So here I'm plotting to see uh, purchase number of purchases by gender. So these are the different plots. What I can see, these are the differences. So where male purchases are like around 2600 and female purchases are around 1200. So what can you like see with the help of gender? What are the all other possibilities? What all can you can see? No. I'm asking what are the more possible plots, or what are the more things you can compare with gender?
Pi, we can compare using by pi and bar chart.
No, I'm asking about the variables. Here, I'm giving you the count and amount, right? Similarly, what are all the things you can look after?
Age,
Yeah, age,
Location as well,
products.
sir.
categories. So the count of the categories versus gender, like who are in which category, what exactly. Yeah, yes, yes. So we are filtering out the requirement now. So you are just we just know that male are much more higher than female. It's not negligible count, it's almost double, right? So we can focus on male related things. Maybe at that location, at that hypermarket what we are dealing with, there is a possibility that more male persons are going and buying.
Walk-ins are
Yeah. And age distribution, we are just talking about the age, like what the age group are coming. So it is a normal, which we like can't say that this is definitely more or less. Like we can see 20 to 40 are almost same, and from 40 to 60 there is a little different from the age group where they might come for groceries and all. So this is the age of this gender variation of the age group. And you can also see age and purchase amount. So what age group people are spending more, so that you can target those audience to get more profits. So these are the different categories what we are having. So okay, with these categories, what you can achieve, like what you can map or what you can see.
You
Sorry.
can map the how many male persons purchased
Yeah, gender
clothes.
with category. Next, number of product type in each category. Price and
category.
yeah, price and category.
The location categories are to maintain the stock.
Yeah, location and category you can see.
Season and category.
Season and category. Count of sales versus category.
Review ratings.
So why are you doing all this? What it is giving you? Exactly, you are filtering out, like you are like getting down the problem statement to expand the business in point of sales, like to gain profits. You are like step by step correct an approach where you can pinpointedly see this is the area where we can concentrate. These are the audience what we are have to target, and these are the category of products what we need. We can get more in order to improve rather than improving everything. So we don't know that let's say there are three items. If we are expanding, and if we are what is it, giving equal importance to the all the items, and if we are expanding, what if first category is not at all moving product and all the other two are selling product? So first thing, we are losing the investment in the product, and second thing, if the product is having any expiry thing, we are like we can't even sell it for half rate or anything. So to avoid these things, to avoid maybe wastage or to lose out the audience, we can we are doing these insights to see just to target the better audience and to get business. So here I'm plotting a funnel chart to see uh, as I mentioned which category are more. So these are the values you can see. So clothing are the category where people are interested in more, and these are the least values you can see. And the items purchased. See, so in categories there are different items. In clothing you can have sweaters, jackets, shirts, and all. So based on that, these are the different categories what I have. So I'm just plotting to see what are the most selling things. Pullovers and jewelry are the more sold things, but it's not that we can completely ignore this. But people are tending towards more to buy pullover and jewelry rather than jeans and gloves, you can say. So because you can, if you want to compare it, if you are in a verge to expand, so you need to see the most selling item instead of utilizing this. So here you can see there is a difference, there is a visible difference between pullover jeans and pullover jewelry and the jeans. So you can limit the quantity or you can limit the stock of jeans as it is moving slowly. Yeah, and these are the locations. The same thing we can see. It's not a much different. There is no what is a visible difference in the location. So the main key would I would say is the category and the items, because we can't see there is a much difference here. And different size groups for the clothings. Yeah, so instead of buying extra lot of extra large, we can take more of medium and maybe large, like that. So here I'm seeing these things. So apart from these, you can see different things and see if it really helping for the final business use case. So the end goal is to expand and to make business out of it. That's it. And the color of items. So this can be an interesting thing. So we might miss out. Okay, we'll take what do you say, these clothes and all. What if you take everything in black? So you will be again losing out the business. So this is that's what I'm trying to say. Like this is the step by step. So in every category, every comparison, you are like filtering out. You are what is it? Reducing the filters, like reducing things what you can focus on.
Sir, sir, in the funnel graph you showed just now, like you
Okay.
said that 100% to 19%. Like on what basis the percentage is given, sir?
No, no, no. The percentage is like complete data percent, not 100% here. 100% of initial and 45% of total.
Okay, okay.
It's like a moving average.
Uh-huh. Okay, sir.
31% of total.
Okay, okay. Sir, I've just missed your introduction part, sir, like, where you're working and all. I just want to know that in real time, like, how does the things work, sir? Like, they just give us the data and they ask us to analyze the data, or else they give us a statement, like, saying that I want to increase my sales, or else I want to maintain the stocks where the location is there, or else what genders I have to target. Like, they'll ask the preferred question, or else we have to just give our analysis. And when we give that report, who will evaluate, sir? Like, I've done this quality analyst at American Express in test as a tester.
Okay.
So as a tester, like, the business analyst give us a statement, a problem statement.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
for that we'll create scenarios, test scenarios. Then those test scenarios were evaluated by our team lead. Then after that, like, after a few changes and after a few meetings, we'll finalize the test scenarios. Then after that, for each and every test scenarios, we create test cases. Then those are evaluated. Then if we get approval from business analyst and our team lead, then we start the work. So how does the process work in as in data analyst, sir, as a data analyst job?
Yeah, okay. I'm Sharath. I'm working in ThinkHat software as an ML engineer. So from past couple of months, I can say close to 1.5 year, I'm working in generative AI domain. So when I started my career, I used to work in data analysis and the traditional machine learning algorithms, I think. So for the question what you have asked, in general, when so this is the case what I have what I came across in my previous company. So there is a this lead scoring, so where an insurance company approached us and asked us that how your product or how can we what is it, expand or get good business out of it. So here what is happening is they are marketing everywhere possible, Facebook, websites, whatever it is. So and they are having a traffic of visitors through to their platform, websites and all. But we don't know if they are potential customers. So
Okay.
they are having a team of 100 plus who whenever they get a number from a person, they are going to reach them out and ask if they are going to buy a premium. So
Okay.
here, what is happening is the count of persons who are purchasing premium is very less, and the spent amount on this 100 customer care people is more. because they need to get salary and they need to ask, but they are missing out this business point. So here the use case what we took out is we got the data from them, which is like past 3 to 4 years data. It's like a huge data, maybe 82 lakhs record, something like that. And it's a raw data what we extracted from the API, where we get everything in logs format, JSON formats. We need to take out the categories. We need to do some data parsing. Like if the company is big, there will be data engineers particularly to do this. If not, we need to step in and see. So we need to parse the data in readable format, maybe CSV or Excel, whatever it is. So then start seeing data, start see what the columns are. Let's say in if we are taking the raw logs from the APIs, we'll be getting a lot of metadata, like the tenant ID, database ID, where it is going to dump. So we are not required, like we don't need to analyze these things. We are just focused on the data set and how we can improve the business to the customer. So here the data cleaning parts takes years. Like 60 to 70% of the time is spent in data cleaning, understanding the data, and figuring out what are the useful features. So as you mentioned, we are also having a business analyst who talks with the stakeholders and communicates things with us. So yeah, whenever we are stuck at something or whenever we need some detailed information of a column or anything, we reach out to him, and vice versa. Like the same thing happens. So once we get things in our hands, we can analyze data. In this case, what we try to predict is, if a person is visiting your website, and if he is filling so and so columns, or if he is filling these columns and if he is ignoring few, and the time spent on the website, how many times he visited, so what is the source for him to reach us, maybe friend or referred by someone or internal employee or advertisement, Facebook, Google, holding, whatever it is. So these are the few features what we can target and see how the most of the persons are contacting them. So if they are picking up the call, okay, if they are picking up, how much time they are spending over a call. If they are cutting off the call below 1 minute, which means they are saying they are not interested. So these are the things. So once these things are done, we use the model for training different algorithms, and we give the lead score. So if a new record comes and if he's providing so and so data, and we once we gather all the data, we'll be awarding a lead score to a person. So there is a cutoff threshold after a lot of experiments, discussions, like everything. We will cut a threshold. So if a person meets that threshold, they would be calling them. The customer care executives would follow up them, or else they won't. So by this, there won't be any need of 100 customers calling, because the idea there was to call every person whoever visiting, like the traffic, whatever it is coming to their platform. But they don't know who are the potential customers who are going to buy the premium. Instead of 100 persons calling 1,000 persons a day, there can be 10 persons who are calling 100 persons a day, who are really going to purchase the premium. So this is one of the use case where the model prediction was done to see the good business outcome. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
Anyone, any doubts in that story? So yeah, it just so now we are doing all these things to see the insights, as you mentioned. So we don't know in which location or which gender. We just started digging the data, and we just got to know that male persons are more what is it, compared to female and all. So whatever I can say this, whatever you are learning and whatever I'm explaining is just a scratch on surface. Once you start digging, once you get your hands dirty, you will get to know. So if you are stuck at something, and if you are like, if you want to really want to see, just see it, like just even if it is an useless comparison, you just see. After seeing that, what you want to say from it. So as I'm showing the graphs and charts, I can see right? So this is the location where number of occurrences are these many. So if you are not getting anything, it's an useless thing. So I can say this is a trial and error also, experimentation also. These are different sizes as we are talking. So the category percentage, 44% is for clothing itself. And the color of items, yeah, we are stuck here. So you can see olive color, yellow color, silver color. These are the more things you can focus, and you can completely ignore maroon. And the season also plays important role because no one will buy sweaters in summer. So if you are restocking the sweaters in summer, then it's a loss for you. So by starting this, you will get to know, you will get to see these ideas, right? Like season also plays an important role. Why? Because clothing is occupied most of the business. So we can focus on that, and we can switch the types of clothes based on the seasons. Yeah, this is some distribution. So there is very minimal difference between all the seasons. So people keep on shopping in every season, mostly clothing, as we saw. So the subscription is like let's say they will be getting some offers if they subscribe to a particular product, or if they are taking subscription continuously. If that really matters, I don't think so. So we just got to know that people who haven't subscribed also are coming for a shop. So 73% of them haven't subscribed. So to get this, like if you want to increase this, you can show this, and you can say if you are declaring an offer on your subscription rate, maybe if you are giving some 20% or 30% discount over that, you can see. So for this also, you can do modeling and prediction, like which discount percentage would work better in order to get more customers. And mode of payment. So it's not what is it? People are using every payment mode. I can see. So shipping type. So if people are staying away, they can ship the things. So these are the shipping things what they are trying to see. So there is much not a difference. So if we are providing maybe express delivery or next day air or something like that, people might tend to use this rather than this. So this is one more point you can put it. And you can see different plots with payment methods also. So which age category group are using what kind of payment mode. If there are a lot of customers, you can increase the payment stalls instead of making them to wait. So that can be one more point. So this is the frequency of purchases, so that this will give an idea when to change stock or restock, or when to update new things, maybe yearly, monthly, quarterly. So we can see the what is it, the traffic, like number of people coming in once in every 3 months. So this will also give an idea to restock the things. Yeah. So far, any doubts, any questions you want to ask? Any other graphs you can come up? What I might have missed. So I didn't plot everything possible. So as I just mentioned, we can target mode of payment with different age groups by binding them, and so what can be more like useful comparison.
You have used some scatter posts.
Sorry.
We have used some scatter plots in this files. Scatter plots.
Scatter plots to say what?
Uh, like for the data analysis, like as you use bar charts.
No, no, I'm asking, are there any other plots what we can get some insights?
Okay.
That have already.
So price, yeah, so price and category.
Sorry.
Do we have do like can we analyze like this also? Like so you did in the, like price and category.
Yeah, we can analyze the price and category.
And also, sir, you didn't done data cleaning in this data set. Like why,
This
man?
is already clean data.
Okay.
Sir, like
Yeah, ratings is one. Ratings category is one of the things.
sir,
Whether subscribed people are rating or non-subscribers are rating.
Yeah, but that is one more next.
sir, you have analyzed the number of card payments or different types of methods of payments, sir, but not with the value of amount.
Sorry.
Like in the chart we have seen that there is analysis on a number of payments, like cards and different types of payment methods for
Yeah.
cards and but we haven't analyzed on the amounts, sir.
Yeah, we can do that, and we can also add it with the different categories.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there is one more thing you can do. You can try out and you can give
because because like
insights.
because like some gateway methods doesn't have any fee charges, but cards does have fee charges. So based on the amounts we can analyze it, like we need to maintain those or not.
Yeah, but I don't have that column here. So if you are having that column, you can use it, right? Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good thing. Maybe if there are any gateway charges or if there are any interest or it, people might tend to ignore.
yes, sir. Yes. Sir, after creating the data, sir, after creating all this data,
Okay.
the client would be seen would he will see the Jupyter file, or else the PDF file we generate.
So in generally, business analyst we would talk to them, or else we can share a Power BI workbook.
That's it. They don't look at our code source,
No,
right?
no, they don't care about code because they don't know. They are like
Okay.
business people. Even if you explain them all these codes I have done, they don't. They won't be doing anything with the code.
And sir, like who will evaluate our reports? Is it good or not, or else, like we might do mistakes. Then who will
So
evaluate?
as I mentioned, like there would be discussions with the managers and all, and if we are sitting and talking like this, and if I'm showing some graphs and it is saying nothing, so there is no point of putting the graph, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it. So that's what in analysis. That's what I'm saying. In analysis, we can't say this is only right and this is the wrong.
Yeah.
We can't say this is useless or anything. That can be useful, but how it is impacting the business, how it is contributing towards the end business goal.
Okay.
So in real life, like one when I dealt with the insurance client, that was the case. Like those they are least bothered about the models what we are using or anything. So how it is benefiting their business? Like how are they really going to reduce the uh, employees? They are like doing the calls for customers. Is it
Sir,
really
did
improving?
you give any suggestions, like improving? See, like we can give suggestions to the business in the reports, or else just we have to analyze it and keep the data whatever is there in that.
What suggestions you are talking?
Like business development, like like maintaining the stock, like for example maintaining the stock of ladies garment in particular locations, because there is a lot of business have done in those locations.
Yeah, exactly. These are the insights what you are going to share to them, and the end call would be theirs. Like
Yes, yeah, yeah.
if they are really worried, they would implement it.
Okay.
So these are the some pair plots against purchase amount, age, and previous purchases. As I mentioned, a category also plays an important role here. And also I have made a view for gender. And this is a correlation matrix. I think everyone are aware. So you can see different categories and all, and you can compare and see what insights it is really giving out, how it is impacting. The main agenda is to increase business. So if that is the use case of the client, they don't bother about this. They need the solution, like what are the things I need to ignore, what are the things I need to more focus on, what are the things I need to check the stock and keep it restocking. So these are some of the box plots what we were discussing.
So, sir, are we using this blocks plot for finding only outliers or to get some analysis as well?
No, I'm just saying how these are distributed across different categories in different seasons.
Okay.
So in spring you can see outerwear. As I mentioned, spring is cold, so people tend to buy sweaters and jackets more. So the 20 percentile started being more here. So in general, the average age is 44, and as I mentioned, most of the people are purchasing jewelry and some other item. I forgot. Yeah, someone has just mentioned. So these are the different purchase amount by category. I didn't plot it. Please explore and experiment with different plots in your mind. So as we can see, clothing, we already got to know. Yeah, these are
And
something related to my ratings. Sorry.
excuse me, sir. Like I have a doubt. Like, So like when I'm analyzing this kind of data like purchase and some amazing Amazon sales data sets, so in the data sets I got some null values in the price column.
Okay.
So I want to analyze by price and category. So how can I go to analyze that thing like fielding or
So
imputing or
as
dropping the
you,
number?
as someone mentioned, like there should be pre-processing and cleaning of the data sets, right? Handling null values, etc. and all. So this is the clean data set. I skipped that part. I think everyone are aware of that. So if that is the
Yeah.
case, if that is the case, let's say there are many things attached to it. So let's say you are talking about a single product in a single particular category. We are talking about maybe jewelry, and that also particular product of jewelry. And you know that it price may vary from 100 to maybe 200 or something like that. Depends on the offer, depends on the customer behavior and all. So there are these algorithms called as customer behavior algorithms, where these are implemented in all over all the e-commerce websites, where we can see particular price for a person, and the same product price might vary in different person's account, because they are targeting and they are analyzing the behavior of a customer. So in this case, if the product is same, and if you know that the product price may vary from 100 to 200 or something like that, you can take an average there. If it's a different segment, you just know the sales of what is it, different types of products, maybe footwear, jewelry, groceries, etc. You just filter out what you want to impute the same category names. So you will have an average of the particular product and the category for that amount. You can average and impute it.
Okay. Like imputing the average value also giving like wrong insights to customer, right? Like it is not appropriate one.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Let's say there are the data is like around 400 records, okay, and we are having two categories. One is clothes and one is footwear. Again, in footwear, there are three different categories: sports shoe, gym shoe, and formal shoe. So we are missing two or three records in the formal shoe. So now, instead of taking average of all the 400 records and imputing it, it might vary, because we are having records from clothing and footwear in different categories. It's not related to the particular thing what we are targeting. So just filter out, just take the records which are related to this formal shoes category, which are of same brand, same thing. So once you have that, you will know the particular category, the particular product price, how it is varying, like what is the least, what is the highest for that category, given a period of time or given offers or whatever it is. So you are not disturbing the amount, or you are not taking into account while imputing with the other categories, right?
Yeah.
Instead of
So the
imputing with
best
all the categories combined, this can be an better approach.
best to approach like best to fill the values with the average like based on category or in
It's
that
not
case.
always suggested in this case. So when I'm having all the filters what I have just mentioned, that would be the case.
Yeah. Thanks.
So if it is different scenario, then like handling it would different.
Thank you, sir.
So these are the few plots what I have done. You can go through it and you can see what more you can check and compare, to point out, to reduce the filters and to what do you say, bottleneck the problem statement and give a suitable answer. So coming to this modeling part, so I'm trying to predict the price based on the trends. It's not that appropriate here, because we are having different categories and all. It's just a basic idea how we can do that. So we are taking the target column in a y, and assigning other all columns to the x. And we are taking the standard scalar and seeing how we can. So what is this standard scalar and why it is important? What is the need of it? Someone. No one. What is the use of standard scalar? And it's used for like it is suitable for what do you say, applying for numerical features. So we
Maybe
talked about,
scaling
sorry,
the values in the standard form.
uh, for what, like can you explain?
Like it is like if we take a ruler, we have some values and we make that a standard values, right? So we are making that kind of thing and we are predicting.
Yeah, yeah, very close. So yeah, it's correct but not what I'm saying, it's not wrong but it's correct. So in general, when we are having different categories, right? So let's say, so forget about these things. What here? Let's say we are having some data set where we are having price, uh, age, and maybe year, in which year it is. So these are three different numerics which are not dependent to each other. So years might vary from 1800, 1600 to 2024. Age might vary in two digit, like 10 to 100 maybe mostly. And sales. So if we are talking about something, some bigger things, maybe any appliances or anything, so the values will be like 15,000 or max. It can be lakhs. So when we are feeding data to model, we are feeding everything in numbers. It can't take category or so when we are feeding it, it might, there are possibilities that it can what is it, give more weightage to the values which are higher numbers and ignoring all these things. So which is not an ideal case, because these are not dependent. We don't want that to happen, so that's why we are scaling it, so that every value will be in that segment. So like in the, from the least and from the maximum, whatever the field it is, so it will crunch it into the same pattern. It fits into the same segment, so that it differently, it will even if it is trying to tilt towards the weightage, everything is in a standard scalar. It's not that like what do you say, it's not that easy for the model to also point out to some column and give more weightage to it. So that is the standard scalar, and there is also min max scalar. Try to explore and see what it is, how it is useful. And so anyone know one hot encoding? What is on hot encoding? Okay, when we are talking about gender or these what are the categories, categorical variables we are having here, we can't feed or we can't train our model with categorical values. So we are performing this one hot encoding. What it will do is, sorry. Okay, if it is gender, it is 0 or 1. What if it is an category? I'm having four clothings, etc. Yeah, whatever you're saying, correct. Sorry? No. So there are two kinds of encoding. One is label encoding and one is one hot encoding. In label encoding, as you mentioned, if there are different categories, we'll give the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it is a one hot encoding, what it does is it will create a new column. So category is having four different categories, right? So we'll be getting four different columns, category with the following by the name. So in that columns, let's see. So it will be like this. So what is happening here is when we are applying this, So the category is having four different values, right? So it will become four different columns: category one, category two, category three, category four, whatever it is. So it will see if in the versional category it belongs to this or not. If it is yes, one, or else zero. It's in the same way. So now we got to know in which category this record forms. If everything is zero and one is one, it belongs to this. If it is belongs to this is one, and rest all the things are zero. The same way it does with all the categories, so that you won't be losing any category, or you won't be losing any column which is in categorical, not a numerical. So these are the encodings what I mentioned. It converts it into the machine readable format. So I'm combining those numerical and categorical encoded values, and I'm like splitting it, as you are aware, like the tested split. I'm taking a test split of 20% and train split of 80%. So what is the use of test train split? Why do we do? To test what?
Train data we
Okay. So in generally, when you are having this data, uh, how you are evaluating your model? Yeah, you can use 70/30 or 80/20. It's not a big deal. So when you are having test data, we'll be having the results already in hand. So when we are passing the test data to the data set, when we are getting the output, what it predicted, we are comparing it to the actual known values with the predicted values and see how far it is correct using the metrics, confusion matrix, accuracy, sensitivity, and all. You can evaluate. And metrics also plays an important role again based on the domain. These true positives, false negatives, like what confusion matrix says? Anyone? So I'm declaring a linear regression model here, and I'm just predicting what it is. So the mean absolute error is around 20, which is not good. So in order to reduce this, you need to look the data, you need to do analysis, you need to drop which is not necessary. You need to boost up things which are important, or else if it is an imbalanced data set, you need to implement synthetic data in order to boost the low scale data and all. And you can do the prediction from this thing. So these are the predicted values. So this mean absolute error what we got is with the help of the test data what we saved to evaluate. So let's say we are getting an accuracy score of 70%, which means your model is 70% right always. So if you are trying to deploy it in a real time, whenever a new record comes, it will whatever the training it has, it will give the value, it will give the sales value. So how good the sales value is means out of 10 times, 7 times it is correct. So this is one more model what I'm using, random forest. Anyone know what random forest is? Okay. The same thing, instead of linear regression, I'm using random forest. It's an yeah, these are the predicted values from the
And all
random.
does this come into data analyst thing or else machine learning?
Yeah, this is the modeling part, not completely into data analysis.
Okay.
So what I just showed from here is different. So more or less, this is the thing. So any doubts or anything you want to ask?
in general, how much we can predict the test data got the score, right? So how much accuracy we can consider?
Maybe it depends on data quality. So 75 above is something which is the best. So let's say you are having a data which is skewed to one side and you are unable to predict it, you can get 40%. So in that case, you need to either take more data so that the model can learn different patterns and see how predictions are made instead of giving lesser data. Or else you need to use the synthetic data techniques what I just mentioned to improve, like increase the records of the data records which are less, so that you will be getting a balanced data set instead of imbalanced data set. So coming to target, let's say if you are dealing with a classification data set, that our target variable might say yes or no. For our use case, let's consider we are having a classification problem where a model is saying yes or no. So out of 1,000 records what I have, yes classes are 700 and no classes are 300. So when you are feeding such data to model, it can learn 70%, and which means the spread of yes case are 70 like 700. So it can learn, it can predict better when the actual case is yes, and it fails to predict when it is no, because you are feeding the model with very less scenarios of being no. So at that case, you might not get a accurate result. So in this case, we need to have a data set where it is at least imbalanced. If not 50-50, at least 49-51, something like that. So that it will see the different trends and different patterns to classify both the classes. If it is not, it is a skewed, it is a one-sided class and it won't be able to classify. So for that, if you don't have enough data, you can use synthetic oversampling techniques. There are few methodologies which will see the records, and it will create some records which are near to it, which are a synthetic data which doesn't do any harm to the model. We are just giving it enough patterns, enough records to learn. That's why like we should not have limited data. You should have a data which can give the different trends across. So that will be the case. And any doubts? For any doubts you can ask. Yes, it's mandate. You need to handle outliers. Every data might not have outliers, but you need to see how the data set is. So first, when you get data set, you try to understand, analyze what it is saying to you. What are the columns? How are they really useful in your entire analysis? So as I mentioned, if I'm getting a unique ID, I don't think it is useful because this will be unique. Even if the product is same, even if the customer is same, every time he made a purchase or every time he orders something, the ID changes. So it's a useless thing. It's just a serial number to find out which record is doing what.
What if customer name is still null value column, customer column?
Like, do you really think you will need customer name in analysis? Someone.
Not sure. So, like if you have take some vendors, so let's say some companies have some vendors, right? So vendors want to like he want to know how many vendors are ordering something in the month. So in that case, the vendor we have some vendor values as an null. So how can we
There is
work that?
this concept called as primary keys, right? If that is that useful, you won't be getting null values. This is what I
Okay.
believe. So, so when you are getting or when you are extracting data from APIs and all, there are these use cases where it should be filled mandatorily. We can't skip it. In that case, if you are not getting anything, even if you fill entire form or the way in the website, you won't get your form to be saved because if you are missing out something.
Can we expect null values in real time scenarios like working in the
Yeah,
client
obviously.
environment?
So I can say this like whenever you are coming to a real life scenario, reality, data won't be this clean. Data will be horrible. So when I was mentioning about this insurance use case, we got around 2,200 columns, out of which 45 are useful. So in that 2000 2200 columns, most of them are like 99% of the records, like the columns are like empty. So we can't use it, we can't impute it. When it is 99%, 90% empty, it's not useful to use. So these 45 columns, what I was mentioning, gave us a score of around some 65 to something when we are modeling. So we have tried adding other columns if they are having any weightage. So when we added some more columns and we made it up to some 85 to 90 columns, even then the accuracy what we are getting is the same. So we are just giving these extra columns to the model and we are just increasing the cost of server. That's it instead of training. So it's better to put it as a small model instead of having bigger. So yeah, whenever we are getting a data, it won't be cleaned because the most of the time the data will be from APIs and all. So there the use case like the requirement they're developing is to gather the data, not cleaning. So their part is done there. So once the data is done, like talking to business holders, stakeholders, and business analysts and all, that is a different scenario where actual business case comes. So further business case, what is your requirement? In the beginning, as I mentioned, when I said I want to start a ice cream business, like many of you told, like location plays a key role. So this is the thing. Whenever things come up, you know what to have, what not to have. So domain knowledge also plays an important role, but not alone. But it will be an added advantage to analyze and see what data is saying, what are the things you can consider, what are the things you can ignore. So it was an insurance, what is a client when we are talking. So there are cases where age was like 4 digits. It's impossible for a person to live with 4 digits. So that happened because there might be issue when he's typing or it's an human error. So those things we can't impute, we just ignore. So here insurance is the key. Here the key value, the column is age. So we are not supposed to impute, remove, or what you say, take considering these values. So there is a cutoff to consider set by the client and all. So that is the use case. So yeah, that's what data won't be clean and data won't be CSV always. And like any of you know JSON format. What is JSON? Huh? Yeah, you know the JSON, right? The JSON structure, right? So there are few differences between JSON and a dictionary. I can't hear. If you see JSON structure, it is also key values. So there are few case sensitive things in JSON and dictionary. You can't use directly true or false in JSON as we use in dictionary. So whenever you are dumping or whenever you are getting data, like so as of now I'm dealing with some data sets which are completely log based. There is this fire database where we'll be having all API calls integrated with the dataset where we need to get into the dataset and extract what we need. So yeah, you need to have a knowledge on working on datasets as well. If you are in free time, like you just try to see how you can load a JSON into your required format, it is CSV or whatever it is, and do the analysis. So instead of
Right.
carrying this, sorry,
So continue.
JSON is very lightweight compared to CSV. We can't keep CSV or we can't share CSV to anyone. We can share a JSON file.
So I faced one error, like experienced one issue while doing the one data set analysis. Like it is a unemployment analysis, and the data set has a complete numerical value. So whenever I removing the outliers, it creating some null values. So whenever I am imputing the null values with mean or average, so again it's creating the outliers. So like in this scenario, how can we going to deal with this kind of issues?
So what is a data set? How it is related with other columns? Is it really
So it is a
important to impute? These are the things what you need to look and see if it really is relevant. You can just proceed, or else you can drop it.
like the if while imputing the values of imputing the null values, so we are generating the outliers. So in that case, like we really need to remove that outliers or not required.
I didn't get you. It's like what kind of data you're asking? What is a column
So
actually?
we have some countries, one column, country column, like country names, and next to that we have years, and below the columns like 2000, right? We unemployment like this much, and 2010 unemployment is this much.
So if
So in
you
that
are
case,
talking about unemployment for a country, uh,
country in particular year, like
yeah, so you can't impute it, right? It's better to ignore those records. How can
okay.
you say that this country in this year is having this many unemployed based on the average? You are creating a data which is not valid. So in this case, I don't think averaging is a good option.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, as a machine learning engineer, you do data cleaning and all yourself, or else data analyst will do for you, sir.
Uh, Both, like sometimes we'll get a data, sometimes we need to do. So as of now, I'm doing the same part,
Okay.
extracting data from APIs.
Okay.
Any more doubts? Anything?
Regarding this data set or any other also.
Any doubts you can ask. If I can answer, I'll answer.
What, okay, what, like how, for the experienced guy, like what kind of questions can we expect in these interviews?
For
What
what?
level? Like I have a 2 years of experience in Cognizant in some other like infra domain, infra technology. So I'm trying to shift to this data analytics technology. So like what level questions, what type of questions can we expect? Like
In general, what we are discussing, like what is the need of data analysis, what you're trying to achieve, and all things. And you should be aware, you should be familiar with Python. That is important. And it would be good if you know something about dashboarding, Power BI or Tableau or anything.
like I mentioned that in my resume that I have worked in my previous company as a data analyst. So can I, like as experienced person in data analysis, can
Yeah, the same questions.
same questions. So can I add the analysis which I did in my like journey? So can we add the data set in our resumes? So it will be helpful or required or not required?
Yeah, you can add the projects what you have dealt. Like it's just like an academic level projects you what you have learned and you implemented your learnings.
Okay.
Think your doubts are clear. I think I gave some information which you don't know. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Sorry,
How many ways we can count outliers?
how many ways?
We can count outliers other than box plot.
You can see the percentiles, like 25th percentile.
There's other answer.
Like, in general, what is the outlier? So which is very far from that. If you can find this with the box plot or the percentiles, what I have mentioned, it's fine, right? You know this IQR interquartile range and all. So these are meant to find those. If you can do this with this thing, like you like your question, like the thing what you want to achieve is solved by this. So if it is not, you can use KNN and all algorithms to use this. You are to identify this. There are steps. one suggestion I can give is you just try to explore and learn from your exploration. So don't stick with the charts what I have shown, or don't stick with Plotly, Seaborn, or anything. There are many packages out there, and packages keeps on increasing. So just try to see how, if it is good or if it is bad or whatever it is. So let's say if you are working in a team or if you are working on a task or anywhere if you go, so the same thing, the same count plot, if you are showing in bars, it's like a normal thing. I think you have only seen 100 times. So what if you are showing it in something different, as I just shown the funnel graph? So it is very much clear that it is decreasing. So that's where you can create impact. So yeah, box plots, count plots, what more you can add. You just think, and how what more different analysis you can use, or what are the hues you can add. And that way the data speaks before you. So when I showed the funnel graph, you have seen the curve dropping, right? So it's like clear. If you see the clothing, you don't need to even see the values. Just try to explore, experiment, and implement.
So, we are taking Jupyter, cleaning and all these things, right? And finally, we are generating reports using the libraries. Okay. The same thing we are doing in the Power BI also. They are also doing dealing with the missing values